This is just they pay you. For example, if somebody joins, I'm trying to think of an easy example to use. Let's say somebody's a silver affiliate, so they've spent their $247 and they're putting in $50 a month. Now that $50 a month, 25% of that goes to buying them silver.
No.
So immediately $12.50 goes to buying silver, but I also get 1% as a reward of what they're buying in silver. But that gets paid in dollars.
Right.
But if somebody joins, I also get a fairly good reward for that. It depends on which package they're buying. And all this adds up, and frankly, I'm just putting it straight back into Bitcoin mining. But I've added more in there to get more. So it does work extremely well. Claudia, who is sort of the top level distributor, she joined when the company started in 2007. Nobody really knows what she's on, but it was said that a couple of years, probably less than a couple of years ago, I think it was probably about 18 months ago, I think they said that she was probably earning more than $100,000 a month then.
No.
So, if you're active in this,
Yeah.
and they didn't have the Bitcoin mining then, this is fairly new. So she was just showing people how to buy gold and silver at wholesale prices.
Yeah.
And because they're very, very good prices on gold and silver. I've been buying gold and silver through a company in this country called Bullion by Post. Don't touch the prices, I can get it here. And if I want it stored by them, I have to pay for it. They do it for free. And if I want to sell it back, they'll sell it back with no transaction fees. Sell it back through Bullion by Post, you lose a fortune.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how she built her business originally, just by showing people how they could isolate themselves from any future bank shocks.
Yeah.
I think we've got one coming. So the Bitcoin mining wasn't available. Now, of course, that's now the hot potato, as it were. Everybody wants it.
Yeah, it's certainly taken off in the last few months, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I started showing an interest in it about April, but it had only appeared on social media about once every other week back then, and by about July it was everywhere, and I said, I want to get stuck in here. And then you rang me, and you'd been sort of thinking along the same lines.
Well, I think I was about April as well. I was getting phone calls, not frequent phone calls, but phone calls from some people I met on a property course that were trying to get me interested in something called OneCoin. And OneCoin, it is generally accepted as a scam.
Okay.
It's marketed as a multi-level thing, but you're only getting rewarded by introducing people to it, and I don't think it's ever going to go live. I'm pretty sure it's not live now. It's just buy into it one day, we'll launch it.
Yeah.
And I just was started getting interested in this, and I've been to a meeting that was put on by somebody called Graham Rowan, and he had Dominic Frisby there talking about Bitcoin. He was one of the country's sort of leading guys on cryptocurrencies, and I bought his book and read it, and thought, well, this is interesting. Now I understand what it's all about. And then the company I subscribed to called South Bank Research also did a book on it, but this is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And Karen Creasy got me hooked on Facebook, and I'm really, really glad. But some people, rightly or wrongly, in my view wrongly, think it's all going to go belly up, Bitcoin will fold and so forth.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin is just the tip of the iceberg. It's what people have heard of sometimes, a lot of people haven't. But what's going on underneath the surface, all these other companies that are doing got some amazing ideas. And I have invested in a couple of these initial coin offerings.
Yeah.
And okay, they're using Ethereum, not Bitcoin, but people say, well, government will ban it. Ban what? You're banning a token, so we're going to do away with Amazon book tokens, and it's all it is. It's a token. So there's nothing physical. You're not buying anything physical with your money.
If you've got your wallet sorted properly, a paper wallet or whatever, and all the rest of it, the government can't ban it, can they? Because
I don't know what they would ban. I mean, what would they ban?
I would say it seems like it's a. I'm trying to think of the metaphor here. It's just a completely ethereal thing where there's just nothing for them to ban. I can't say because you can't take a Bitcoin from someone,
No,
because
you
it's a completely online thing.
exactly
So,
right.
yes.
Japan have made it a legal tender. There's some of the Swiss municipalities are saying you can pay your taxes from next year in Bitcoin. Lots of people lots of companies are now taking payment or deposits in Bitcoin.
There's a lady in London, service department operator, Tai Adiona is her name, and she's now taking payments for her London service departments in Bitcoin as well as fiat money.
And it just seems to be becoming more mainstream. But
and Amazon are expected to start.
Well, yeah.
Once they do it.
That'll be a big turning point.
I think Amazon are at great risk because what the blockchain does, and this is what Bitcoin is, it decentralizes everything. So with Bitcoin, you haven't got a central bank controlling stuff and controlling inflation, controlling supply, because one of the big problems with supply is with the fiat currency, you can just press a button and print money to their heart's content, which devalues what you hold now. Plus,
that's what happened in Germany in the 30s, wasn't it?
And it's happening now in
they've done it here in the States. The quantitative easing, they just printed more money.
And here, it's going all the time. So, and then you've got to realise also what the governments are doing with their inflation targets. I suppose we're getting a bit off the point, but the government inflation target of 2%, and real inflation is way above that. But 2% inflation means that the value of your money is halved every 35 years.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about 5% real inflation, it's been halved much quicker. But I must work out how long it would take. But again, we're back to the gold and silver. The gold and silver have pretty much kept pace with inflation. So what you could buy in Roman times with an ounce of silver, you can still buy pretty much the same thing today. But the value of the dollar, for example, has been devalued by 96% in, just over 100 years.
Yeah.
So I think Joe Public, including definitely myself, are becoming much wiser to what government are doing with controlling currencies and so forth.
I was saying no one trusts the banks anymore because they've stumbled over themselves every other month, pretty much. So I completely understand why people want to go towards decentralising the money, essentially, so it's more in their power than
it's
exactly in what
people should have full control over their own money. And when they're involved with the government and the bank, which we all are, to a point, you haven't got full control over your own money.
No, and I started saying, well, off on the sidetracks, I'm terrible for that. Amazon are at risk because everything that is currently centralised could become a target for decentralisation. So Amazon are buying up domain names with Bitcoin, whatever, and so forth. But anything, one of the ICOs I've invested in. You know obviously what a chatbot is, and one of these companies is called Hut34. They are working on a project which will have chatbots talking to each other all over the world. And that will make it a much friendlier system. Amazon won't control your data, which they do at the moment. And you can ask much more complex questions.
Okay.
So that's looking really, really interesting. It's an Australian company actually. Hut34. It's all to do with Huts 3 and 4 at Bletchley Park, where they did all the deciphering and everything. So I think combine them together. But anything that's centralised, they reckon one of the early applications will actually be a government application in the voting system, whereas now you get a card, you have to go along somewhere in the high street and record it. There's people sitting there all day. They'll just all be done on the blockchain and it'll all be encrypted.
So it's significantly more harder to rig a vote, but
you'll take out so much of the expense.
Okay. And the delays as well, because like houses, buying and selling a house, so involving conveyancing, a solicitor, an estate agent, and so on and so forth. It'll eventually, in a few years, it'll all be done in blockchain, and the whole transaction, providing you've got the funds in place, it'll take a few hours. So
there's I've said this quite a number of times, but it's to me, it just explains to me so easily why I'm into this. And that is in the 90s, somebody said to me, this new internet thing is going to change everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's for email.
Yeah, that's what we all thought.
And I see this exactly the same way. You know, people see the Bitcoin because that's one application. It's like email, it's one application. But what's going on underneath the surface is huge.
I think it's everything else it can be used for.
Absolutely.
How versatile it's going to turn out to be.
Okay.
So that's what all the coins that are coming along. But a lot of you've got to be careful because, as you well know, you know, some of these coins are scams. They're not going to go. There was one somebody put on Facebook this morning, and loads of money put into it, and all the people behind it have just gone missing. And that's the bubble we've got. It's like the .com bubble where people are just throwing money at anything that came along.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful.
Yeah. At least Sgg Global is a reputable company, and you know that when you're involved with them, that it's okay. But there's an awful lot of scammers out there jumping on the bandwagon.
They're only mining the main ones. None of the, a lot of these coins aren't mined, of course. You know, people will just sell their coins to raise money for their project.
Yeah.
But they're only mining a certain few, and these are the main cryptocurrencies.
Well, what I did was, because I did Siam Kids course, I told you that before, John, and separately I bought about 20 coins. For some of them were 10p each type scenario. At the moment they've made 33% in profit.
Great.
And that's just over a month when 6 weeks when I bought them. But like, I'm just leaving them there because I said to myself, well, the amount I spent on them, I spent 78 quid or something on them. Admittedly, I bought an Ethereum, so that came to 200 and something. But the other little ones, I only spent 78 quid or something on them.
Right.
And I'm up to, so it was 230 altogether, including the Ether at the time. So I'm up to sort of 400 quid now or something. We looked at it yesterday. So yeah, I've made around 33% just in that time, but I'm just leaving them there. And I'm, continuing with the hash rate on the Sgg Global. And if you just leave it to one side, it'll eventually all come together.
Yeah. I hope some of that was of interest, but what's of interest to you now? Is it still the mining on its own, or?
A bit of both really now.
Right.
Yes, at the moment I think, to start with, because I'm still getting my head around all of it really, to be honest. But I understand how the mining side of it works, I understand how it converts to the coins. So I think for the first bit I'll probably focus mainly on just getting involved with the mining side of it.
Right.
Just to, I guess, build up my own coins with time. And then once I'll do that for, I guess, a couple of years or something, and then down the road see what I'd want to do with it from there, really.
Okay. Because I think we're right at the beginning of the, as you were saying, it sort of took off in April or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Because I think the world is just waking up to this, really.
Yeah. The smart ones, of course, got in.
Well,
really early on, but hardly anyone knew about it though. That was the thing.
Yeah, I should have looked at it sooner. I mean, there's a story going back some years now about somebody buying a couple of pizzas for 20,000 Bitcoin. He advertised it. If anybody delivers me a couple of pizzas, I'll give them 20,000 Bitcoin, when it was only worth a few cents then. I think they paid about 20.
Money they have now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And one of my team members, he had a computer problem. He calls one of these home repair people in, just mentioned Bitcoin, and he said that the physiological change in the guy was very noticeable. So he thought, just delve a bit, ask him a bit more. He said, I used to mine Bitcoin myself, and I had it stored on my own computer. My hard drive crashed, and I lost 21 Bitcoin. Oof. Yeah.
Nice.
Is there anything else you want to ask, Jay?
Not really at the moment.
Are you the pool player?
No, his brother.
No. Because
he's good at pool, though.
Yeah. Well, I've got somebody in the team. I think you asked about it, didn't you? Because it's a name that your other son will know very well, because he knows him.